Hello everybody, this is Beauty of Algebra, and this is our second video over point-slope form. From our last video, we mentioned that there's three ways to write a linear equation. We mainly focused on point-slope form and using point-slope form to solve and get slope-intercept form. It's important to know that slope-intercept form is often the end goal for the majority of these problems. So I actually just want to take a minute here and just focus on slope-intercept form. Because there's actually some problems, if you don't recognize it, you might actually put more work in than you have to. For example, these problems are staying right in slope-intercept form. So like problem number 1, it says m is equal to 4 and b is equal to 7. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And if I have to circle the numbers we're plugging in values for, we're plugging in for the letter m and b. So if they give that to us right off the bat, we can just jump right into slope-intercept form being y equals 4x plus 7. They might write it a little differently. Instead of b, they might say y-intercept. That's still representing b, so this one would be y equals 10x plus 3. And then sometimes instead of m, they'll write the word slope, and this would be y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Again, if they give you m and b just right from the start, you can just plug it in straight into slope-intercept form. However, sometimes they'll just give you a point and a slope, or they'll give you 2 points. Today we're going to be focusing on how to solve these problems when they give you 2 points. Video number 1 over point-slope form addresses how to solve this given a point and a slope. It's still around the same method. I always circle y1, m, and x1. So you want to plug in values for x1, y1, and m. However, it's important to know that m actually has an equation. It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Basically, you can think of it as subtracting the y's divided by subtracting the x's. The second step to get your slope-intercept form is to distribute and solve for y. So the main point for 2 points is we want to use this formula right here for today. That's the main difference. All right, so what I did was I wrote the point-slope form off to the upper right-hand corner and the slope equation m off on the upper left-hand corner. And this problem is stating is we want to write the equation of the line that passes through the point and has the given slope. Write your final answer in slope-intercept form. Except this time they don't give us the slope. So they're giving us 2 points instead. So they're giving us 3, 8, and 7, 20. Point number 1, that 3, 8, we'll call that x1, y1. Point number 2 is x2, y2. So we always first want to start with our slope equation to get the slope. M is equal to y2, which is 20 minus y1. If we labeled it, we can read it straight off, 20 minus 8 divided by 7 minus 3. So we really get 12 over 4, which simplifies down to 3. 12 divided by 4 is 3. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's plug in all the values we know for y1, m, and x1. So here's our x1 and y1. You're not wrong if you use x2 and y2, but I would, to make it simpler, I would just focus on x1, y1 just being point number 1. Y minus y1 equals a slope, m, which we just found to be 3, divided by x minus the x1 value of, oh, that's also 3. That's your point-slope form, but this problem is asking for our slope-intercept form. The next step is then you just need to distribute and solve for y. So let's distribute the 3. So 3x minus 9. We have to solve for the y. And there's really just one step in which to do this. We need to add over the 8. So adding over the 8 is going to give us our slope-intercept form, y all by itself, y is equal to 3x minus 1. Once y is all by itself, your final answer is going to be your slope-intercept form. Y is equal to 3x minus 1. All right, let's take a look at another example. Same instructions, we want to get into slope-intercept form, but we first need to start with that point-slope form. However, since it's 2 points, we also need to find the slope manually. They don't just give us the slope. We have to find the slope manually using this equation. So let's first label x1, y1, x2, y2. Thus, we can just follow this formula out. Just subtract the y values. So m is equal to 9. It's a little strange. 9 minus a minus 3. So we have actually 2 negatives in a row, divided by our x2, which is -5, minus a minus 4. I really just want to take a moment here to talk about the double negatives again. In the case where you have 2 negatives, a negative times a negative minus a minus 3, it's going to make that a positive 3. -5 minus a minus 4 is going to make that a positive 4. So I'm actually just going to rewrite this so we don't get confused. That's 9 plus 3 divided by -5 plus 4. I've also heard this equation described as m is equal to y2 opposite of y1, x2 opposite of x1. We're really just taking the opposite sign. That negative will really just change the sign. But I like to think of it in terms of y. 9 minus a minus 3 becomes a 9 plus 3. -5 minus a minus 4 becomes -5 plus 4. Simplifying this, we get 12 over -1. Positive 12 divided by a -1 will give us a -12 for our slope. That's our m value. Now, once you have the m value, let's go ahead and let's plug in using our point slope form to start. We're still getting that double negative. Y minus our y1 value of y minus a minus 3, we'll make that a y plus 3, equals our m value of -12, x minus a minus 4, really just changes the sign, x plus 4. Let's go ahead now and distribute and solve for y. Distribute the -12, so -12x, -12 times 4 to get -48. This equals our y plus 3. Now there's really only one step in which to solve now for y. If that was y plus 3, we need to subtract the 3. So your final answer really is going to give us y is equal to -12x minus 51. So this process is similar to what we did in the first video, except this is focusing particularly on when you're given 2 points. And the main change is that you're going to have to find the slope yourself manually. Be careful of double negatives. So minus a minus becomes a positive. And the rest of it is going to be the same as in the first video that we went over. I hope that everyone has a great day, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you.